I want to play the card game so badly. But not that many people are interested in the game. And there aren't that many new content yet. They've basically done everything there is to do in the card game so far, and now I'm out of things to do, but I want to keep playing the game. I'll continue the main story, but for now I want to play the card game. And here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna be facing off with people online. Using all the decks that I've made. It's an Iron Man challenge, essentially. Where once I've used the deck, I can't use it again. So, let's go through them in order. Actually, I'll play with the Precure team last. And maybe the monsters deck would be hard to deal with as well, so I'll save that for near the end as well. So, let's start with the Rushdown team, why not? Would be a shame if I lost immediately, so may as well try using my strongest deck. Skill issue if I lose, okay?
And absolutely not being anime, or taking the Japanese stance of even Minions being anime, it is very easy to see how Avatar does very much fit into the anime style, both in the pure visual sense as well as through numerous storytelling tropes. And among many of these anime tropes stands the prolific beach episode, which in the vast majority of cases is more of a side story where the characters just take a break from all the
What if when you take too long matching, the game just makes you fight an AI? There should just be a free mode against the AI, honestly, where you can select, where you can fight against your own deck. Maybe, that'd be nice.
Episodes, and in the majority of cases are usually designed to be filler stories. And because of
the threads of your fate lie in my hands.
Studios need to somehow still pull in viewers, which were predominantly high school age boys. And so, what is better for the thirsty boys than putting all the characters in swimsuits? And so, the beach episode as we know it today was born. The only time where all the rules were thrown out the window, and essentially the only purpose of the episode was fan service. So, what happens when you mix all the not-so-great things about anime tropes and Avatar?
Nice.
Well,
you got Catherine. I'm sure he's really happy about that.
And all-around greatest episode of the entire series, in my opinion. And I feel like that's
Maybe I should go check and see if there's like a competitive ranking.
One with my blade.
For the game mode.
It's almost as if the writers themselves wanted to assure
By royal
us
decree.
that the escapade on the beach would soon
Alright,
turn
he
into
might
something
do one more
much
attack.
more important to the bigger story, and that everything
We'll
we see
see.
for the first half of the episode is
That's why you don't reveal your hand
and
too
on top
early.
of that, another major distinction here are the parallels between Zula's and Aang's group. Again, based on the whole beach premise, for many, the immediate thought would be that this would be just that. A relaxing episode with a side story and that.
Alright, there you go.
And
Alright,
that's
he's
exactly
done.
what we see initially. As with Aang 2, we are generally just lounging around and having fun. But that would soon be turned completely
I
upside
want
down
first
as
turn
long as
advantage.
Scorpion Puma will come after, completely throwing our expectations out of the window. So, with all that said, let us get properly stuck into these two stories and talk
Alright,
about what
good.
makes them so brilliant. When we open the episode,
Hopefully I can get a fast switch, but I'm fine if Changlin takes some damage.
Shenanigans we see in Avatar. We see them head over to the beach, where we do also very much see the
Ooh.
usual anime tropes of some thirsty boys fighting it out over time lead. We see Zuko and May just try to relax, but their dynamic of course forbids that. And then Azula notices the game of volleyball. Though right away, I think the character roles are established incredibly well here, which I think will be a very important point in Vampire's either end of their story. So far, Tylee is always solving problems through smiles, social skills, and charisma.
I can't wait any longer!
Here, almost as if she had the entire world figured out. She's the only one who's immediately adapted and is already lounging around. Which we later learn is in large part due to her living conditions as a child, and how growing up in a very, very large family largely forced her to master these social cues. Zuko and May, on the other hand, as they often do, have a hard time finding their place, and so
Interesting.
the interaction we see between them is pretty awkward. Zuko tries doing nice things. He brings May ice cream, for example, but even that just blows up his face. And then there's Zuko. In many ways, I think is the wild card. A common thread that sums up
Boba, get them!
Right, I'm gonna end up spreading cryo to everyone and letting me get melted. This is not good. Ow. Frick. What the hell was that all about? My shoulder. God, it happened again with my bone. I didn't even do anything. Oh, interesting. Huh, a counter against my deck.
If you recall, one of the first scenes
I'll ensure your
Unreal.
safety.
I wasn't paying attention this time, my bad.
explicitly painted her as a perfectionist doing good. Even a single hair out of place was enough to force her to go ahead. And clearly, as we've seen many times, this cold, emotionless, and meticulous approach to her character has propelled her to be one of the strongest firebenders we would ever see. But in this episode, that approach will be challenged. You see Azula noticed the game of volleyball being played, and to her, this is immediately
I can't
just a
wait
challenge.
any longer!
Instead of calling on her friends for a relaxing game, she essentially commands them to line up at once, which also neatly showcases what her role is.
Tylee, get over here now!
We just talked about how drastically different these characters are, yet Azula can immediately pull together
Catherine,
all of them
nice.
to fight by her side, which, as we've seen many times before, just reminds us that the support she has isn't just because of some charisma or good deeds, but rather pure manipulation. And then when we get into the game itself, we see yet another aspect of Azula reinforced. She
Yeah, I'm gonna try getting
always
Oz out as
targets
well.
the weakest link. As they hunker down before the plan, her cold and tactical break kicks in, as she identifies a past injury on one of her opponents. Again, for her, this is not a game, this is an enemy to destroy. And so, she aims to strike where it hurts most. And I absolutely love how this little detail further contextualizes the standoff she had with Dang's group, Uncle Iroh, and Zuko way back in Book 2, because they are
Get outta here!
the same
That's
exact
5 damage.
At that moment, neither Zuko or Iroh were family. They were enemies, and she was ready to
Right, unless
destroy
he's
them.
hiding a weapon,
So, her
which I
strategic
doubt
brain ran
most
off
people
the
have
numbers
the
and figured that
capacity
Iroh
for
is in fact
subterfuge
the
in this
best
game
to
mode.
collapse this entire thing from the ground up. Pure power-wise, he might
Nice
be the
and
strongest
spicy.
defender there. But with Azula, power is just one variable. A variable she might not even have to take into account at all if she could make the whole group fall apart at the seams. She knew Iroh wouldn't strike back at her. She knew Zuko would become reckless if she struck Iroh. And she knew that all of Team Avatar are righteous. So even though at that point Iroh wasn't technically their enemy, they would still make sure that he's okay before they ever properly retaliate him. And so, she does exactly that. She strikes Iroh just
Okay,
like
I
she
think
does
I
with
should
the
allow
Queen.
Shangling to die,
Her
actually.
opponent is only as powerful as the weakest link.
Oh, only
And
a
if
normal
he wants to
attack.
extend that even further,
He's waiting for a
I think
perfect
it's also very
opportunity.
much to the final acting part. So yes, keeping up with these so far lighter tone of the episode, Azula's villainous
I'm going to
and very
Pyronado.
tough proclamation that they would be destroyed is promptly cut off as she simply says. And here too, I think there's an argument to be made that to her, as much as it is a joke played off for the viewers, this sort of reaction was completely normal and not over the top at all. I think in her mind, she utterly destroyed them, and so she will revel in that victory, even if for a brief moment. But we then hear of the party, where we once again get a brief insight into how Azula's mind works, as she decides to not tell them who they really are. And then over dinner, she says just that.
Right, I'm letting Shangling
See
die.
how people would treat them if they didn't know they were royalty. Lo and Lee would repeat this a lot throughout this episode, which the cast largely writes off for comedy's sake, but they say that Ember Island is a magical place and is all about offering people a blank slate. For Azula, somewhat tragically, it does turn out to be all about repeating past mistakes. She arrives as a nobody, she's given the chance to relax, but she doesn't. At every opportunity, she's back to her old ways of controlling everything and everyone. Zuko, on the other hand, is a much different story. The third season of the story is all about coming to terms with what he has done, finding his true purpose, and of course, trying to come to terms with his betrayal of Iroh. And I don't think us returning to Ember Island after Zuko joins up with the gang and immediately proceeding his meeting with Iroh is a coincidence. Throughout this little Ember Island duology, I think we are purposely being shown the difference between Zuko and Azula. How one falls back into their self-destructive ways, while the other, through thick and thin, manages to overcome that. And before we delve headfirst into that, there is still a party that needs heading up. And yet again, we see the pedantic and almost mathematical nature of Azula as she shows up at the party at dusk because they said that the party would be from dusk till dawn. This of course sets up her little mini dating arc in this episode, which was teased back on the beach, where we also get the
It's build-up time.
Going in! Dinner's gonna burn!
Fire Nation battleship. Because it's so sharp.
But broadly speaking, we see her fail miserably at socializing and once again jealously look at Ty Lee.
Trainee Forest Ranger calling, reporting.
Of course, she'll try to play the situation to her favor, telling Ty Lee that the only reason why she has so many admirers is because she makes it easy. But, unlike all the past times where Azula would revel in maintaining her superiority, she actually apologizes and tells Ty Lee that she is jealous. And this is where I think the tragedy of Azula's story is on full display. Because even the moment she manages to connect with someone, she just can't help but fall back into her superiority complex. We've seen many times that the only people Azula truly has on her side are those she
Spirit Blade! Attack!
That's 7 damage.
essentially manipulates into joining her. But here, she wasn't having
He's out of
that.
moves.
She purposely avoided saying that she's a princess of the Fire Nation. And she can't really press this guy's buttons because unlike everyone else
Just
by
like
her
we
side,
rehearsed.
he just seems to be drifting through one place. She tried sciencing her way
The scourge of evil
remains.
remains.
That's simply not how it works. As far as she knows, he doesn't have any deep-rooted insecurity she can leverage, and so she is just now.
Alright, one of us is
This
going to
one
die.
of those fundamental tragedies in Zula's story where her power ultimately does not equate to actual power at all. Despite her iron-fist control over her allies, all of them betrayed her. Despite her social status and standing, she never receives any ground.
Alright, I need to choose carefully who I'm going to let die.
Her little brother, who she always laughed at, still comes out on top. And I think
Oh no, wait, I can live if I switch.
demonstrate that absolutely. And similarly, Zuko
I
too
think.
quickly falls back into his insecurities as he sees May.
The threads of your fate lie in my hands.
Obviously, Zuko has
Dang it, I had to get rid of my food so I can bring Pyronado out.
Is not surprising in the least. Unlike Azula, he does have a very short fuse, so while both of them just have their core personalities challenged, Zuko's
This is
reaction
just
far
my-
more explosive,
Ugh.
not helped by the fact that May just straight up says that we're done. Which, yet again, brings up the same abandonment issues Zuko has. And so, he is once again alone, wandering through the dark
Okay,
nights
I'll live.
as memories of his childhood flood back. He returns to their childhood vacation home when the doors are locked, symbolizing how, despite his grand return to the royal family, he is still an outsider. Zuko, however, proceeds to force his way in, again speaking too much of his story leading up to this event. He walks into the house that is filled with memories, which is now gray and covered with cobwebs, almost as if forgotten to time.
Alright, okay, I might die. Never mind, he doesn't have the elemental reactions resonance bonus.
Zuko putting his hand over the blade, essentially just saying that he wants to return back there, when he could just run around those grassy hills with his uncle, and when he still had his mother. But then, Azula comes in saying that they should return back to the beach, and this place is depressing.
Alright, I have enough dice. I believe it'll be fine if I let Guess she'll die here.
Presence alone is enough to pull him out of that fantasy where everything was happening, back into that old reality where he still has to face his demons and are betraying his own. It's
So
like
do
she's
this.
a constant walking reminder of
Go ahead and
By
kill me
royal decree!
and then
if you can.
Campfire, which in my mind is easily one of the best written sequences in the entire series. Just how
Nope,
flawed
I
this
win.
dialogue is something else entirely. As we just see them unload
I'll
on
ensure
each
your
other
safety.
one after another. All of that begins with Ty Lee asking Zuko why he's burning the family photos. Not surprisingly,
Why?
Zuko blows up saying that he just doesn't care, that Ty Lee doesn't even know him, and that she should just mind her own business. Again, this is just Zuko's paradoxical nature of dealing with his abandonment and trauma. He pushes people away.
The threads of your fate lie in my hands.
He decided to leave on his own. And despite May trying to play the peacekeeper, Zuko keeps going on his tirade, calling Ty Lee a circus freak.
There can be no excuse.
Alright.
All throughout the story, in many ways, is very much of a peacekeeper. Sure,
It's
she
certainly a
fought
powerful
alongside Azula
deck.
throughout much of it, but even back in Bossing Say when she let Bosco go, she never really wanted to hurt anyone. Azula too responds exactly how you
Unfortunately.
expect, not picking up on the social cues whatsoever and simply laughing at Zuko's insults.
It
Because
was
to
pretty
her,
slow.
Yeah, Ty Lee
I
is
believe
not
it would have
really
been
to be
best
taken
if she
seriously.
started off with Diluc in
And that's
that
on
deck.
full display as she essentially dismisses her before even saying a word.
Here we go.
Though speaking of Ty Lee, similar to Azula, this is one of few times in the series where we see a different side of her. As
Right.
she breaks down saying that for her entire life, she's been afraid of being just one of a
Stormy
set.
Weather's
Growing
next.
up with 6 identical sisters, she always wanted to be independent and different, and joining the circus was her way of doing that. To me, this was always one of those weird times where your usually unnaturally positive and optimistic friends suddenly become serious, because it completely shatters all of your perceptions of the character. At the back of our minds, we know that each and every person alive has just as complicated of a life as we do. And I think this complete 180 of Ty Lee is a very good reminder of that.
This
Sure, she always
is an
seems
awful
very
team,
joyous, but it's clearly not as
and I'm
simple
going
as
to
that.
prove it.
And as if that wasn't enough, May butts into the conversation, saying that Ty Lee has attention issues and is just trying to make up for that now. And now Ty Lee is the one firing back at May, saying that it's still better than not feeling anything at all. But it's when Zuko jumps
Alright,
back in
you know
that
what?
things
Food is
truly
fine,
reach
because
a
I'm
boiling
gonna take
point.
damage
The
anyway.
threads of your fate lie in my hands.
Keeping all of her emotions bottled up and finally express something for once. And it's then that May immediately undermines the whole tragic past trope. So far, this whole campfire talk has obviously brought up a ton of past wounds and recontextualized a lot of what we know about the characters. May, on the other hand, simply explains that she doesn't have that. She doesn't have a sob story. She grew up with a supporting family and always got what she wanted. And this is one of those things
I'm
that may
sure my
honestly
opponent would have loved
severely
this dice
underutilize
set.
storytelling. We have a bajillion tragic heroes, but what about the ones that already have it all? I do think that this sort of storytelling naturally lends itself much better to villain stories because losing it all is much more interesting, but still, I absolutely loved how May was portrayed here. And while Azula tries spinning it into May's family too being problematic, she then blows up and shuts it down right away. And again, Ty Lee is back to her usual happy persona, saying that everyone should calm down or the stress will give them bad skin. And finally, Zuko spills the beans on everything. He tells them that his skin is the last thing he's worried about and that his father already passed judgment on that. Then saying that forever he just wanted his father's love and to return home. But now that he's here, he's still not happy. And of course, Azula realizing that Zuko is still in her back pockets, we get a brief shot of her smirking. But then, when they start asking who Zuko is angry at, the sequence is genuinely perfect. As the trio's voices circle around
I
Zuko,
summon thee!
I'm gonna get
pushing
swirled,
him up
but
against
that's
the wall
fine.
and leaving his head scrambled, simply asking, who are you angry at? And as the framing gets more and more claustrophobic, Zuko finally proclaims that he's angry at himself, with his emotions literally pouring into the raging fire. And again, the fact that we return to Emperor Island now with Aang by his side, I absolutely love how this entire
I'm not gonna
video
count that
is
as a
building
victory.
towards Zuko's reunion with Cairo. Because as far as I'm concerned, this I'm angry at myself is almost exclusively in reference to his betrayal at Bossing Say,
The heck,
and
cost?
is in many ways a crucial
Whatever.
turning point in the story. But
None of
the
my
scene
business, I
isn't over
suppose.
just yet, because Azula is still yet to speak. And here we get a few more very interesting tidbits. Similar to May, she too claims to not have any sob stories or anything like that. But no more than a second later, she herself says that her own mother thought she was a monster. It is played off as a joke, but in my mind, this is nothing more than Azula being in complete denial, which would be on full display before her final Agni Kai, where it's exactly her mother that
An
would
electro specialist.
Clearly, Azula is in large part a product of her
Our battle
not so
will be
great
legendary.
upbringing, and as much as she may try to deny her past, her devils are always with her, and her coping mechanism? Control and power. And surprise, surprise, it is then that she decides that they can sweep by the party once again and basically trash the place. And so with that, the haha let's spend the day on the beach episode suddenly turned into the most raw and emotional exchange around the campfire that on the Fire Nation
In the
side
name of the Prinzessin.
basically ever seen, with everyone in both direct and indirect ways very much facing their demons head on. But wait, there's more. Remember how at the top of this video, I said that this episode tells two stories? Well, yeah, we've still got the gang's B-plot to talk about. Very much paralleling Zuko and the others, their story too begins with them swimming and generally messing around. And remember that
Their
in this
penance is due!
story, the entire world believes Aang to be dead. That is, until he is spotted and the Fire Nation soldiers send a high alert message to the Fire Lord. On the face of it, this is classic Avatar. He is seen by some Fire Nation soldiers, they alert someone more important, and a fight breaks out.
Oz, reveal thyself.
This is the endgame of the story. We are on the Fire Lord's home turf, and leaking Aang's survival could put the invasion mission in jeopardy. In hindsight, we of course know that it was leaked regardless, but at this point in the story, it is still a huge deal. But again, it's not as straightforward as it seems, because the Raven is overtaken by none other than Sparky Boombat. And again, this is one of those great subversions in Avatar, because in like 99% of cases, you'd be like, oh cool, the Fire Nation Raven that could have ruled the plan was caught. Great. But no, here is this guy who is a literal telepathic firebender and is an assassin hired by Zuko to kill Aang with nothing left behind as evidence. So again, an absolute far cry from the promised fun beach episode. And because of how character-centric this episode is, purely the reveal of Sparky Boombat following the gang should suffice, right? And again, no,
What the
because
heck
as
is
night falls,
she
the
doing?
gang is indeed attacked. I've talked about this exact scene in past videos, but genuinely, this is one of my favorite fights in the entire series.
Interesting.
The choreography and the sound design in this one is pure perfection, and frankly is deserving of a video of its own. The way complete silence is leveraged here just makes everything hit so much harder. And I'd seriously invite all of you to rewatch this fight and pay attention to the sound design specifically. Unlike most other battles, there is barely any music at all. Instead, the deafening silence is cut through by the, at this point, ridiculously powerful gang all throwing their best at the Sparky. And even aside from all of that, the fact that Aang also leverages neutral Jing in what is a very deliberate callback to Boomy, all of this just further drives home the message of, buddy, this is no beach episode. The story is moving forward, and it is moving forward big time. And while the fight as a whole is ultimately just a bit of a benchmark for Sparky Man, I do think that it's a perfect complement to the Ember Island story, where Zuko is very much confronting his past, which is also very directly shown to us as it's because of him that Sparky Man is pursuing the gang in the first place. But yes, this time for real, that is the beach. An episode that starts off with your typical tropey anime beach story, which was apparently actually going
I
to have
summon
a fan
thee!
service originally, but was tuned out by Nickelodeon, and ends with some of the most complex character dynamics in the entire story. This might be my tinfoil speaking, but I seriously think the name
Here come the fireworks!
The episode was deliberate. Seriously,
There it
can't
is.
help but notice just how many anime tropes are subverted in this one. It genuinely feels like the entire vacation side story vibe was purposely leading us into a false sense of security, just to subvert all of that, both with a very physical threat as well as the emotional turmoil we see on Zuko's side. So, with that said, if you join me, I'll be here waiting for the next show that takes some of the classic anime tropes and just decides to completely annihilate.
Alright, let's see how she responds to me
I
running
can
out of
do it.
dice.
Let's recap episodes, right? Wait. Hold on. And that's the video. Oh boy, it feels so good to be talking about Avatar again.
Alright.
Frankly, considering it's still my favorite series of all time, this channel desperately needs more content on it. So, keep an eye out for that in the future, especially with a particular Netflix series coming soon. But with that, I want to say a massive thank you to our current patrons who allow me to produce even more of these for you all. Without you,
Incoming.
there'd be a whole lot less of my rambling, so seriously, thank you. Other than that, I want to say thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a great day, and hopefully, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Free card, don't mind if I do. My god, this is terrible. Better. Psych, I've been hiding this.
As per our contract.
Now you're gonna feel some massive pain. Well, I'm gonna feel it too, but Right, 4, 7, 3. I'll heal later. Bam. Yeah, there it is.
Nowhere to hide.
Alright, well, this is quite the situation. Someone's gonna die. I'm willing to let it be official. No. Would it be better if Sucrose died? I mean, her swirling is useful, but... Fine.
Need to make adjustments. The threads of your fate lie in my hands.
Fun.
Surrender!
Okay then, I lost.
Mein Fräulein.
That's the simple truth. Wow, not bothering with Ryukin with Niwabi Fire Dance is actually a pretty good strategy with Yoimiya. It's a very precious turn that gets not wasted. Oh, well, that would have been nice to have a little earlier. Game. Oh, damn, actually, I will... Holy
judgment
What?
failed.
Okay then, Skyward Harp. Am I right? How did I deal 4 piercing? Ah, right, it was an electro infused as well, so... And then my Skyward Harp got me another additional +1 for the base damage. Yo, that was whack. Alright, my second favorite deck now.
I'm all for work-life balance, but I think this is pushing it.
Ooh, a freeze team versus my freeze team. We both have characters that apply Hydro to ourselves. Oh, great. Okay, you know what? I'm starting with Barbara.
We can do
this! With this starting hand. Three of a Kind is good. Two of a Kind is also good. Sure, I'll watch
to
this.
make your own TTRPG, you want to join the ranks of those who have influenced and twisted the little minds of players all over the world. Yes, it's a good ambition, but can you actually do it? How easy or how difficult?
What the heck's the point of doing that?
When it comes to creating your own TTRPGs.
Huh?
Hello and welcome to today's episode. My name is Guy and we're going to be looking at how to make your own TTRPG. Or at least we're going to be looking at it in broad strokes. Because there are so many different components that one can go into when making your own TTRPG that it can be quite daunting. So in this overview video, if you like, we're going to be exploring sort of things about what kind of decisions you should make before you even start writing.
Let the show begin.
Rules that you have come up with. So that's what we're going to be. That's what we're going to be.
Might I suggest ending tighter?
If you do want to see more videos on how to make your own TTRPGs, let me know in the doobly-doo down below because, well, that's the only way that we know what you want to see. So I can't guarantee that you'll get it before, say, mid-January, but if you are interested, you do want to know, let us know. And while it's at it, hit that like button, and, well, you might as well hit the subscribe button. That way you won't miss out if I do a second video that I do for you to do. You know? Anyway, let's get straight into it. Okay, so, first step number 1. Uno, ichi, ein, number 1. What is your goal in writing the TTRPG? Why? Why are you even making it? Are you trying to improve upon something that has already been made? So you're going, well, we've homebrewed this system so much that it doesn't even look like the new system, so we might as well make it our own, and that way we can get rid of all of those old legacy things that we included and just start from scratch. So we're making something, we're improving something. Is it I got stuck on
Is it a wholly new and completely different idea? You've decided, you know what, this whole dice thing is nonsense. From now on, we're going to be rolling grandmothers, and whoever the grandmother rolls the furthest succeeds in the task thereafter. You can come up with all kinds of crazy things, and there are TTRPGs out there that use dice. They use cards, playing cards. They use bespoke dice. They use bespoke playing cards. They use Jenga towers. They use pickup sticks. They use bouncing balls. They use car license plates. Yes, that is how I used to roleplay on the road. You use car license plates to give you your numbers. All kinds of craziness that exists out there.
That's pretty
and
wacky.
It allows us to explore options and go, that was a dumb idea. We won't use that one again. So, either you are improving upon an existing system and creating a new one out of that, or you're starting.
I don't actually get what this guy's trying to do.
Why you're doing it? Is it to have fun? Is it to
I'm stalling because I know she can freeze me. So I'm stalling with Barbara.
Why are you doing it? You have to be able to answer that question right up front. Now, when I look at the role-playing games that
And I'm waiting for a fast action,
I'm still working on, I should say,
which I don't think will ever come.
Well, I really want to play Dungeons & Dragons, but I want to play it in the Wild West. So I need to invent rules for firearms. They didn't have them in 2nd edition very much. I want to include rules for shooting off horseback.
I await your instruction.
Alright, mister.
I really want to do a nautical campaign rule set. This was also 2nd edition Dungeons & Dragons, where they didn't have naval combat. So you had to
Sinking Burst will activate no matter what. There's nothing I can do about that. Yeah, here it comes. What the heck's the point of him using
So
Mona?
there it was, improving a system, starting from scratch.
Let me weave you a verse.
Asked by my significant other to
Oh wow, that
try
dealt
and
4
come up with a
damage?
rule system that doesn't involve any
How did that happen?
no mathematics.
He used the depth temptation and stuff. I see.
That's an interesting one. That's more of a mental puzzle than anything else, because my immediate reaction was, don't be silly. Every role-playing game out there uses some form of mathematics, except for those that don't. So how?
My apologies.
Freezing won't matter here. Very smart.
If your best reason is because I wanna, I'm not entirely sure that's going to help sustain you, because this is a long and arduous process, and you are going to have more people telling you what's wrong with it. than you
I'll
are
get
going to have
frozen,
people
but
telling
it
you
also
what's
won't
right
matter.
with it. They're not going to tell you what's right with it, because they're not going to comment
That
on
is
it.
if
They're
she
gonna say,
chooses
"What
to
did I
attack,
do this for?"
which would be a
What do you
waste
think
of
about the
time.
rest? Oh, the rest was
Freezing
fine.
me
It's
will
just-
do
flight.
absolutely nothing
I'm
here.
not saying anything about it. I'm only telling you what it is. Like I said, it is a long journey. You need to stick to your core principle. And then, and this was insight that I took working with a good friend of mine, worked with a couple of friends who create role-playing systems. They've always fizzled out and died because our goals, while we were making these things, were dissimilar. They were not in concert. I had a goal for a simple system. The other partner had a goal for a system that was so simple it was beyond simple. It was, you only have 5 skills for everything? I whittled it down to 20. You want 5? That's very, very different. So again, knowing what your goal is very important. Point number 2. Point number 2 is you have to choose your genre.
Right.
Now,
I
why do
need
say
healing.
this?
That would be
There are a
great.
few systems out
Of course,
there
it
that
doesn't come.
are generic. You can use them for medieval settings, for fantasy settings, for science fiction
So,
settings, for modern day settings. You can, but they oftentimes require tweaking. What I find generally helps me a lot more when creating a basic rule system is to choose the genre that you most enjoy playing in. Because what that does is that allows you to unlock all of the information that you have in your head for the other role-playing games that you've been playing, most likely from the same genre, because you now can take those rules, take
Alright,
those
I
things,
understand.
look at what they did, look at your system and go, okay, I can use that, I can use that.
I'm fine with this.
If you go with a generic system, you're then going to be struggling to try and reconcile how do you fly a Boeing 747 versus a
No,
Star
you know what?
Destroyer versus then casting magic.
Wish me luck.
So you're starting to try and juggle a lot of different mechanics, and it can become overwhelming. Whereas if you choose to do simply a fantasy setting, well, now you will, the only thing you have to worry about is magic, not necessarily all of the components it's about flying, about sailing, about high-speed impact.
It's time to stall. Wait, what? I didn't get frozen.
That is definitely...
Why would you do that? I'm gonna heal now.
Number three is about choosing how you're going to determine outcomes. Now, this might seem a little bit backwards. Shouldn't you try and work out what the system is first? No, because your outcome resolution is going to be, I think anyway, your guiding light in terms of what mechanics you should be using anyway. So is it random chance? Is it just roll a die? Maybe you can add some numbers to it, but ultimately it's just coming down to random chance. You succeed or you fail. Is it interpretation? So there are games that I have played where there are no dice, and it is interpretive. Well, you wanted to fix the wagon, and you did say in your character history that you used to work as a wagon wheel maker, as a wagoneer. I don't know what is the official term for someone who makes wagons. I want to say croupier, but that's a cooper. That's a barrel maker. Nonetheless,
no.
Wagon wheel fixing, or you're going to steal a wagon wheel from another wagon, and so you can see how it's done. That gives you +3 to your option. The difficulty was 2, and so you succeed. So you're interpreting the outcome based on some values that you have in your character sheet. It could be quite literally beating values. So I have 5, you have 2, I succeed. No dice are necessary, it's a straight up comparison. Or it could simply be, do you have the skill pathfinding? Yes, then you can track anything regardless of the situation. It could also be through agreement. I have played games where everybody votes on whether your outcome succeeds or not. It's
Kamisato Ayaka, present.
Attack one more time, I dare you.
People involved might vote yes because they want you to succeed because they have a vested interest. Sometimes they vote no because it's going to be comically interesting, but narratively destructive. Or is it perhaps a point allocation system? Well, this round you have 10 points. You can spend those however you like. You can spend 1 point to defeat my 2 difficulty. You will fail. You have to spend 3 points. That leaves you only with 7, so you've got to guard knowing that you're going to run out of points. Whatever the mechanic, there are multiple ways of resolving an outcome. There are multiple ways of determining an outcome. Why do you need this then? Why do you need to determine an outcome? Well, to put it quite simply, that's part of our game. It would be like saying, well, you could play soccer without a ball, but I'm not entirely sure how you keep track of who's winning and who isn't. You leave it up to the players, they're both going to claim victory. So you do need to have some kind of resolution, some kind of effect that you know is going to allow you to determine the outcome. Why do we do this first, before we do anything else, like determining the mechanics, the skills, if you're going to have skills, all those kinds of things?
My apologies!
Alright, you can't fast action to items, reach me, so I'll be the one activating my burst, thank you very much.
But B, it puts us in the right mindset. So if we are going to be using some random decision-making process, we then know that our mechanics should be aligned to a random process, and that they shouldn't become definite yes or no's, which would be more towards perhaps an interpretive situation, or towards a value system. So
that's a bad idea.
Exactly.
Witness the power of Guhua!
I can't even begin to stress how bad of an idea that is.
That no one else has ever done before, so we're going to be rolling stones, and we're going to have little green stones and red stones and blue stones.
Sumetsu!
Okay. Not my
And
problem.
the stones that remain in the middle of the circle are the stones that count. The ones that roll out the sides count against you. You deduct the ones from the sides from the ones in the middle, and whatever's left, that's your score. That's entirely up to you. If you feel that that's the most practical way of resolving your particular conflict, then that's the way to do it. But remember, you've got to go back and ask yourself, well, does this fit within the genre? Because there are some games that use playing cards, and they use playing cards because there's a Wild West kind of flavor, which is where poker comes from, so it's thematically relevant. There, it's a chance, it's randomness, you're drawing cards, and then you're trying to influence that randomness, but it's still a random generator. Effectively, it's just using cards. There are other games where it has nothing to do with the system whatsoever, it has nothing to do with the genre whatsoever, it's just a fun, cool mechanic, and those are one-shot type adventures that you play when you have nothing better to do and you don't particularly care about the story. And then you want to look at how does that all fit in terms of why you wanted to make this game in the first place. If you get frustrated because the dice are always rolling against you, what's the point of using another random generator system if it's going to be doing exactly the reason why you didn't like the first system in the first place? So it's time to then stretch your wings and go, okay, we're going to go somewhere else now. We're going to go looking somewhere else. We're going to do something else. That becomes incredible. Number four, mechanics. Now we finally get down to it. The actual mechanics. So you determine this is going to be, let's say, a yes or no. It's going to be yes or no. That's the only mechanic we're doing. That's what my partner has asked for. A role-playing game is just yes. What mechanic?
Take flight!
Mechanic do we then employ? How do we determine yes or no? Is that
Noel's
heads or
time
tails?
is going to come.
Random than just a straight up yes or no. So we don't want any kind of mathematics. And when you're flipping a coin, there is a statistical probability of a yes or a no. So that's still a random value. Whereas if the outcome is either
I need
a
only
flat
be patient.
yes or a flat no, then there is no probability it is either yes or it is no. We do not have any Schrödinger's cats running around. So when we then look at the mechanic, we go, well, that means everything then has to boil down to yes or no. Does that mean that we're going to have skills?
Wish me luck!
Whereas you have a cooking skill, or a driving skill, or a photography skill, or a fighting skill? Or does that mean that rather than having that, we're going to have a collection of abilities?
I don't want to risk getting frozen even more.
We can't have
Because
mathematics
it's Noel
involved.
time.
So we're going to have a
Everyone's at
collection of
Noel
abilities
percent.
that are either yes or no scenarios, and that will allow us to determine our exact outcome. There are role-playing games out there
I
that
was
don't
waiting
have
for
any
that.
skills whatsoever. They simply
If
have
I thought I got
abilities
lucky and got the correct
skills
card
and
just
you
in
drive
time, but
that,
in
whatever
truth,
it
I have
may be,
simply
to
been
solve
waiting for it.
skill. You see how important it is to have defined how your role-playing game is going to work in terms of its outcomes before you start looking at anything else. So in a yes or no type of
Alright,
scenario,
Lebanon's a good choice, I
can't
guess.
see that skills are going to be
A well-timed
particularly
Lebanon, I'd
useful
say.
here. You can drive, yes or no. Okay, so that does solve that question. But can you drive better than somebody else? In this case, there can only be an answer of no. Because whether you have been driving for 1 month, whether you have been driving
However,
for 6 months, you can still
the
drive.
victor of this match has
There is
already
no
been decided.
gradation, there is no differentiation. So perhaps then we don't need skills. Perhaps we need something else. And so that's how the journey goes. Now that we're in the mechanics phase, we're now starting to say, what will allow us to determine
I will
whether
protect
you're
you.
a good driver, or a bad driver, or a better driver? Do we need to even
Leave it up
have
to
a
me.
definition of better driver?
My reckoning.
So there are a lot of things that then come into play as we start to examine that. Once you have, however, once you have decided, okay, so the characters are going to have the ability to choose yes or no, there's no mathematics involved, and what we're
Oh
going
no,
to do
she's
is
gonna
we're
freeze me.
apply that to, let's say, 12 abilities. Each ability is going to cover a specific
Alright, that's fine.
area within this role-playing game. If you have the ability, whatever you're attempting to do, the answer is yes. If you don't have the ability, whatever you're attempting to do, the answer is no.
Kamisato
That's it.
Ayaka,
Straight up.
present.
There is no gradation, there is no better or worse, there is just yes or no.
Whirling snow!
So in step 5,
Much
we now
remains
test our system.
unfinished.
Not with friends, not yet. We're not going to get involved just yet. We still have to make some tweaks, some adjustments on our own. And the very first one we're going to do is we're going to test it against a standard passable scenario. The character, using your role-playing system, must climb a cliff. How would they do it? In my yes or no type of game, it would be, do they have a physical skill? Yes, then they can climb the cliff.
Alright.
Perhaps it's a dexterity
No, my
skill.
sword!
Perhaps it's a mountaineering skill. I don't know.
Oh man, I
haven't
could
looked
have
down the
frozen
rule sheet.
him.
But if
Not
the
that it
answer
would
is
matter.
Yes, then they climb the cliff. Perhaps it isn't even a question of having the ability to climb. Perhaps it's a question of gear. Do they have grappling hook and rope? Yes, they can climb the cliff. So that is then what you test your system against. If it's playing cards, if it's Jenga, if it's pickup sticks, if it's bouncing
I
balls.
did actually have enough
Test it
dice.
against
Yep.
that.
Alright.
Health someone else? Can your character help somebody else? My scenario.
You knew there was no way anymore.
We want them to be able to help each other, so we want collaboration. We want the characters to work together because perhaps
Alright, now we get
we
to
go
the
all the way
I'm
back to our
familiar
first
with.
decision. We want the game to feel more
Normally
like
I'm familiar
team
with, but
rather
I know
than
it's
as
not that
individuals playing
powerful.
in a group space.
So,
the answer is yes. We want our characters to be able to help each other. So
I'll go
how
with
would
them
they
practical.
do it? In my scenario, maybe there's a ability that says assist or works well with others. Yes or no? If it's yes, then yes, you work well with somebody else. Do you help them? Well, again, I don't have any gradation within my role-playing system, apparently. So if you have the ability, it does work well with others, and let's
Come on,
say
enough
then the thing
procrastinating.
is mountain
Let's
climbing,
go.
and your character has
wow,
mountain climbing
that's
yes, then the two of you will be able to climb
It's
the mountain,
another
because you
Nahida.
can work well with others, and you can mountain climb. You see what I'm driving at is you're going to start testing all of the usual role-playing scenarios against your own system. So the next one, discovering a hidden door or a secret clue. Is that another skill? Is that an ability? Is it a talent? Is it a feat? Is it a focus? Is it a...
That's a pretty cool
You
name.
start to come up with these things.
Two
Start to
Hydro
test the
bonus.
system.
Oh boy.
And then of course...
This is somehow a stall deck.
Can you engage in melee combat? Yes, yes you can. How do you engage in melee combat? And how do you determine damage? How do you determine the ability to dodge or block out of the jump out of the way?
I
Maybe
replaced
you
nothing.
don't. In my scenario, I'm particularly stuck. Can they use a sword? Yes. So does that mean they automatically are dealing damage to the enemy?
Present.
If the enemy can use a shield, then are they automatically cancelled out? I will need to go and test the system and to come up with a solution where there is no maths, and I can't give you the solution, by the way, folks. I am literally making this up during this video as we go along. I will have to go and find solutions that are yes, no, and then the outcome is based on certain yes or no's,
Guilty.
and then the damage is based on yes or no, or maybe there is no damage. Maybe this is completely a theatrical kind of thing. Do you have a sword? Yes. Does your opponent have a shield? No. The opponent
One
is no
with my
longer
blade.
standing. They double over and they are dying. It could be something as simple as that, because then we need to look at ranged combat. In almost any system I can think of, there is always ranged combat. That was one of the fundamental
In the
steps that
image
mankind
of
took.
the
They realized they could throw
wilderness.
something at an enemy and cause it to move less than when they were trying to just run up to it. And it also gave the advantage of not being hit back by the enemy when you were throwing things at range. So how does your range combat work? Is it fundamentally different from melee combat? Is it
In the
fundamentally the
image
same?
of the
In my
wilderness.
system, I suspect it's going
Alright.
to be exactly the same thing, just with no return damage being possible. There are some role-playing systems out there where only the players roll dice, and so only the players determine whether the enemy hits, or whether the enemy fails, or whether the enemy deals damage, whether it doesn't. So it's already taken into consideration. Step number 6. Now you take your system.
Alright, waste
you
your
test
dice
it with
for
your
me, will ya?
friends. And I cannot emphasize this enough. When we were writing the book Complete Guide to Nautical Campaigns, we had the most amazing
Alright.
playtesters come in.
I was hoping for
They
more.
sat around the table and they tried to do stuff. They tried to break the system. They tried to do things that I hadn't anticipated in the system. They succeeded 100% of the time. They asked, "Oh, how do I do this?" And you go, "I don't know. I hadn't accounted for that." "Oh, how do you do that?" "You do it this way." "Oh no, that doesn't make sense. That's broken." And even when I shipped it off to other people to try and roleplay, they sent back almost as many pages as the rulebook was in terms of questions. "You've said this, but there's no accounting for that. You've said this, but this is," etc., etc., etc. So there's lots and lots and lots and lots of things that you need to take into account. Once you've tested it a couple times, not just once, a couple times, my suggestion would be test it at least twice before you change anything. Then change stuff based on those testings, and then
In the
only do you
image of the
update it,
wilderness.
and then you test it
I
again.
wanna melt,
and
but
again. And your objective is to
I can
whittle
do that
down the
if I
amount
do
of
this,
feedback
but-
that you're getting from your players until eventually
I'll be
they're going,
patient.
"Oh, can we play in your system? Because I really love it.
Bubba,
I enjoy
get
it.
them."
It's so cool. It does this. It solves that problem. It solves the next problem." So that's what you're looking for when you're testing your system. Is trying to get it to the point where there's nothing. But don't doubt yourself. You might get players going, "Oh, this is terrible.
Yep.
Why did you think this would ever be interesting?" Try it with different groups. That's the other important thing, is your own home group might be so used to the style that you normally run using the normal system that they don't want to even know about this new system, so they're naturally going to be resistant to it. Take it online. There are so many things that you can find out there. Table Find a Wizard, for example. That's where you should go, and the right link will be in the video today. Trust me. So go and have a look for different groups to play them. The more people you can play test it with, the stronger the system will definitely be. Then, well, now what you need to do is last step. You start fleshing it out, because they're going to want to know the equipment. Oh, can I buy equipment? People love buying equipment. I don't know why, they often don't use it, but they like to have it, and they like to earn cash so they can go and buy more. You're going to need to work out equipment. You're going to need to work out whether that equipment has durability, does it last, does it break, what are the chances of it being destroyed by fire, how heavy is that something that you even need to worry about in your TTRPG, all those kinds of questions. So you're starting to flesh it out, you're starting to build up all those additional things, and it's at this point that you then start to add in additional mechanics as well. Oh, well, the players felt it was a little bit difficult to create a unique character because you only had 3 basic character classes in your first test. So you can now add in another 15 if you want to. They then felt, well, leveling, there was no leveling. So how do we level? Please tell us how we level, work out how we level, etc., etc., etc. Once you've done that revision, guess what? You're back to playtesting. And you want to playtest that thing again.
I'm so sorry for what's about to happen, my guy.
Because they may very well have broken the system, and then you go back and you revise. And you say, does this work with my core
Time for some training?
original purpose, my original plan of having a system which was either yes or no, or whatever your particular goal was? Does this rule fit with that? Does this rule fit with that? Because you might find
Never
that
mind,
as you expand,
I don't have enough
as you
dice,
add
so
on
I'm
to
just
this
gonna do
particular
this.
One with my
it
blade.
starts to change and evolve and sometimes shifts back towards the role-playing system that you're used to playing, or sometimes gets to the point where you're like, this just isn't actually fun. This mechanic, no matter which way I twist it, no matter which way I look at it, just isn't going to work. And then my last piece of advice to you, because that's it for this particular video, I've gone on for way too long anyway. The last piece of advice that I have for you is don't give up. The current rule system that I've been trying to get off of the ground, called the Tri system and the Tri-Fi system, those I have been writing for years. I have had people come in and join me, and they've added or they've subtracted.
Right,
they haven't had the same goals, so they've pulled out, or I've pulled out, and it's sort of been malleable and it's been evolving.
There's no way since you will die.
Constantly adjusting, and now it's in a place where I think, you know what? I could now start getting to the point where I am kind of happy with it, because I have players going, oh, I really love that system, I want to play it again. But having played some new systems in the last 3 months, I'm going, yeah, but I think I could make it better. And then, with, my partner going, well, I only want to play a game that says yes or no, because I've never role-played before, and I think it'd be a really good, easy system to get into. I'm going, that is a whole different challenge. For me, it's an intellectual one, and one that I want to do, obviously, but, yeah.
2 months is a bit of a double-edged sword.
Designing systems, though, forever.
But if the resource advantage is so great, losing first
Your
turn
sins weigh
advantage
upon
barely
your soul.
matters.
Whoa, that doesn't work. But if I just tweak and tinker and that's how you get gnomes. Alright? So to avoid gnomes, I'm ending this video. I wish you and yours the very best of luck if you are going to be designing your own
So
system.
am I alive?
And if you do, join our Discord, discord.gg/greatgm, and come and share it with us. There are 5,000 playtesters just ready and waiting to try out your new system. Well, we don't have a sponsor for today other than our wonderful Patreons. Now, our Patreons get
I'm
amazing
alive!
rewards every month. They get maps, they get tables
1
that help
HP
them
is
create
all I
random,
need.
locations and all kinds of things. You'll see that on the screen now. So a big thank you to all of our patrons. Now another thank you to our Kickstarter, which is Epic Battle Maps. It was fully funded within 5 hours of launch. Thanks again to your amazing support. We're moving up reaching towards those new stretch goals, which will just
Spirit
add
Blade,
more maps
attack!
to this collection. Now, if you don't know what
I
I'm
have
talking
taught you
about,
everything
Battle Maps
I
is our
know.
offering. It contains 24 maps. It will increase over time, but it contains 24 maps at the moment, which you can then use virtually or around the table in a nice, neat, compact fold-out book like this one behind me. It's a standard size book. It fits on your bookshelf.
Go ahead.
Maps are absolutely huge within it.
Do
and,
it.
It's doing really well. The link for that Kickstarter is down below. If you want to support us, that would be absolutely amazing. And,
After all
yes, so a big thank you
training.
to you for watching all the way to the end of today's video. And until next time, I wish you and yours the very happiest of gaming.
Yeah. He's also dead. Wait. Kabam!
In death, a new cycle begins.
In the image of the wilderness.
Oh, thanks for showing up right now, you guys. Really appreciate it.
You're toast!
Not water, too.
Let me show you what it means to ignore the luck factor.
The rising flood.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Burn.
I was gonna switch to Ayata anyway.
Take flight. Not water, too.
Eh? I guess he got really unlucky there. Oh hey, the claymore. Oh nice.
Mirror the myriad.
Goodbye, Archibald. And there you go, he conceded. I didn't even need the two cryo residents, they never came.
Just like
Man, you took his arm clean off, and it's our last one.
The complex is next.
Oh, she's cutting right into him. I wish there was something I could do to help, but this guy's just way too fast.
And this is interesting. I start with Cole, this team? Yes, I do.
Trainee Forest Ranger Kale, reporting.
Good start, good start.
Your penance is due!
Go!
I'll not show anything. I'll just do a normal attack right away.
Ha!
Oh. I'm already at Wolf's gravestone %.
I won't hold you back. Much.
Oh, I was under the impression that he could attack one more time. Whatever. I may as well commit to this.
Get out of here!
Access denied.
Everybody stand back!
Nah.
I'll ensure your safety.
Interesting.
Fly!
Right, that card is good if you want to start off with someone.
Get out of here!
Golden Amba, help!
People really like resonances. Aww.
Ready to do my utmost.
That card sure does suck. Anyway.
Teamwork is dreamwork!
I know what you're thinking.
Futile!
Couldn't break the curse.
For Rex Lapis!
Thank you.
Your sins weigh upon your soul.
My contract goes unfulfilled.
Ah!
Whoa.
In death, a new cycle begins.
Really wasn't expecting that. Jeez. 7 physical. A real hat trick. Yikes.
Like this.
Get out of here!
Where did I go wrong?
That guy was tougher than the rest, I'd say. Speaking of the look, I'ma go use the boys. People really like to do cryo to pyro. I wonder why. But everyone seems hell-bent on using them.
This will be interesting.
Right, well this is some really terrible luck, fuck, walk, shock, suck, up, yup, walk, up, nuck.
Out of the way!
Okay, good. Okay, finally. Something workable.
Freeze!
Go ahead. Mr. Jokester.
No touching!
Can't kill me. At least, not until I unleash. Guess he didn't have enough dice. Good. I was hoping for some healing. And it's still not too late. I don't have anything for Xingqiu anyway. That's more like it. I'm having some really terrible
Dodge
luck
this!
right now. Okay. Sure, just let me spread cryo to everyone on your team, eh? My Kea, who shall never die, is loving it.
Whirling snow!
Or perhaps he will. That was so nicely timed. Shattering ice. I'm quite envious. Okay.
Oh, so sorry.
Whirling snow!
I'm not done.
May knowledge guide you.
Rain outlines your fate.
Go ahead. Freeze me now and you're just gonna be wasting it. Ah. Okay, teka. Very well. I need 3 of a kind, as well as Hydro.
Rain Cutter!
Let's finish this, swiftly.
Try as you might, there's nary a thing Dilip cannot do. Oh, okay.
Chivalry will never die.
Now there's a hat trick for ya. Now this deck is a little too luck reliant, I say. I got really lucky though.
Let's go.
Whirling snow! Much remains unfinished.
I was expecting a Bennett. Okay, this is still gonna hurt. A lot. Like a really lot. Like a whole lot. Never mind. What the heck? I didn't mean to get rid of Deluxe thingy. My bad. I thought he still didn't have an artifact. I'm so stupid even though I clearly just took advantage of the artifact effect a while ago.
Verdict is?
Must press on.
Even full health couldn't have saved you there. Yep. Right, it's dinner time. Hard Plaza. Neat.